Welcome to the Discovery Doc podcast, where we advocate for optimal wellness and reducing everyday toxic loads, no matter where life takes you. I'm Dr. Cece, doctor in nursing practice, self-proclaimed toxin tamer, and a crunchy mama.
I'm Anna Kate, a medical mystery overachiever and your discovery liaison. Join us on this exciting journey as we explore the world of holistic health, cutting-edge research, and practical solutions for a healthier life. Together, we'll navigate through the complexities of wellness, sharing valuable insights and expert advice.
Tune in to the Discovery Doc podcast. Get ready to be inspired, empowered, and discover a whole new way of looking at your health.
Welcome back to the Discovery Doc podcast. I'm here with your host,
Dr. Cece, functional medicine nurse practitioner, self-proclaimed toxin tamer, and crunchy mama, and my sidekick over here.
I'm Anna Kate, your medical mystery overachiever and discovery liaison. And today we're going to discover more about spoopy season.
Spoopy.
I did say spoopy season because we got little kids.
Spoopy.
Yeah, we got little kids. So it's got to be a little spoopy.
Okay.
So we don't want to scare them.
So the full-on spooky.
Yeah.
I see what
So as you get older and you want to do the spooky things in the
But for now,
yeah, let's go for the spoopy season. It'll be spoopy.
we're full of made-up words, y'all.
You've never heard of spoopy season?
No, it's like, oh my gosh, did you make
It's a
this
thing.
make up?
No, it's a thing. It's spooky season, but it's like nice.
Version.
Yeah, it's like little kid.
Did y'all know this? Am I the only one who didn't know this? I can't be the only one. I'm probably the only one.
You might be. If you've heard of spooky season, let us know.
I tell my kids all the time, it's good to be weird. It's good to be the outlier.
Yeah.
I'm the outlier.
All the best of us are.
Hey, exactly. Yes. We're going to talk about Halloween and starting off how the Brooks family does Halloween. Then I want to hear how you guys do Halloween too. But we have a little tradition. And so y'all know I'm crazy. I'm just crazy with ingredients and all the things. But what we do is I always want to create a balance. I don't want to have my kids feel like they're ever missing out on anything or they can't partake in anything. And so what we do is we still go trick-or-treating. We go out. Last year, y'all, we'll weigh the bags. I'm not kidding you. When they brought home 10 pounds.
Each or total?
Of candy, total.
Okay.
But it's two of them. That's 5 pounds of candy each.
Nice.
Like wild. So we still go. We have all the fun. I, on this one time, allow them to pick one thing out of that bag. And usually I try to sift through, like while we're actually, going trick-or-treating, I allow them to sift through, or I sift through and I'm like, ooh, this looks like a great choice. So it's a
box of raisins.
Shut up. It's an apple. No, can't do apples anymore. It has to be wrapped.
Nope. Yeah.
But I try to pick the best option within that, but I still want them to be like, ooh, this is a treat. I get to eat it, because they don't ever eat, quote, normal candy. So that happens while we're trick-or-treating. And then we come home. And when we come home, it is part 2. And part 2 is really, really fun. So I order everything ahead of time. I order a huge assortment of Discovery Doc approved or mommy approved candy.
I like Discovery Doc approved. That some of her favorites are my favorites too.
Yes.
And I've been eating them for years just as a normal.
Because they're good.
They
taste real because they're made with real ingredients. So I pre-order everything and then I have it waiting at home for the kids. And we play a game and we dump all of the candy that they got on separate sides of the carpet. So Jackson goes on one side, Ava goes on the next side. And when Jade is old enough, she'll be right in the middle. And we swap. And so they take like 2 or 3 at a time and they bring them to me and I lay all the good stuff out. And then they take 2 or 3 from me and we flip flop.
Nice.
So they end up with the same 10 freaking pounds of candy. It's just a different version, right?
Without all the hyperactivity inducing.
Yes. So, without all the processed sugars and synthetic ingredients and synthetic preservatives and food dyes and all of that. And my kids are at an age now where they know why, they know the reasoning behind it, which is really cool. And we started it from their very first Halloween. That's what we started. So this is what they know. They were trained.
Yes.
From a young age.
So I do have a question
Yeah.
because I know we're not big on waste. So what happens?
So I'm going to be very, very honest about this. My husband is a sugar fanatic, and part of it goes in a stash that he eats on his own time. And I yell at him every single
I
year,
figured.
but I find wrappers every single time. And the rest of which we donate. And where I feel really conflicted is like, well, my family is choosing to swap out this candy for something different. And then I almost feel bad giving it away because it's giving away something that my family is almost rejecting. So that's a very real thing to feel. But everyone's different. Everyone, is different in what they want to eat and what they like and what they don't like. And so I have to kind of switch that thinking and be like, well, somebody out there loves this stuff and I'd rather them be happy and have it. But it is a little conflicting of a feeling. I'm not gonna lie.
And maybe that's the only time that they let themselves have it is around Halloween or whatever. So
exactly. But we always donate it. We usually give it to the church. So the church has like awesome just events for kids and where they can just divulge in all of it. But there's also a lot of stuff that local places do with vets and with shipping some of the candy overseas and things like that. So there's plenty to do with access, whether you are trading it out or whether you just have so much.
How do you eat it all?
Yeah. So, and that's kind of a part too, is that you don't need to let your kid eat it all. Like we feel bad, like they accumulate all this candy. And so then it's natural instinct for us to allow our kids to consume a lot of it. And y'all, they don't have to. That is up to you as the parent. So we also set a boundary where, in everyday life, our kids are used to getting a treat a couple of times per week. So it's not a daily thing anyway, where they know, okay, I'm going to have this is special. So I'm going to have a couple pieces. That's it. Like we're going to save the rest. We're going to put it in our treat box. So we have a treat box where all the rest of the candy goes into. They actually like to keep theirs separate.
Of course.
After Halloween.
Of course.
I know whose is whose.
Yeah.
And then they pick from that treat box for months and months and months. I'm not kidding you. As their treat every once in a while, that they go to. So I think that Halloween has become, it's always been, it's not become this thing where as parents we're like, oh, hey, eat everything you can till your belly hurts. Like, who made that rule? We don't have to have that rule. We can have a different rule that's, whatever fits in your house that says, hey, okay, our rule for Halloween is you can pick 5, you can pick 3, you can pick 7, whatever your number is, establish that with your kids and allow them to choose that. And then everything else we are putting away, or maybe we're donating half and keeping the other half.
Yeah.
But we don't have to allow them to eat it all.
And it helps with that self-control and that you've established those guardrails. They're not limitations. They're just guardrails for your family that they know, although Will is not so much one to follow those guards. I know he's eating them at night. You go to bed, you put the kids to bed, you go to bed, and he's down there watching TV or playing video games, whatever he's doing.
Because then I come downstairs first before him in the morning, and I see 3 wrappers on the side table downstairs, or I find them in his car. I'm like, bro, you're not even sneaky. Like, you're not even trying to hide it. I know, but I like Reese's. I'm like, okay, then eat these ones.
Okay, so I have a story. This is before I became a little more silky than I am now. And I didn't eat them. I gave them as a gift. One of our friends, we've got best friends, and their oldest daughter was born on my 18th birthday. Okay. So we share that. And then she's got a younger sister and a younger brother. Well, he was probably, I don't know, 13 or 14 a couple of years ago. And I got him every single type of Reese's peanut butter cup that they had at in the store for Christmas. I mean, it was like 20 pounds of just all Reese's cups. He was like, they don't make that many different kinds. And so I wrapped
it. You're like, watch me.
Yep. So he enjoyed it. It's been a great memory. I think it took him an entire year to eat it all because my dad would put them in the freezer for him. So whenever he'd come over, Trey would go and grab one. And, so I was like, well, watch this. You really like them?
They're really good frozen. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. That and your peppermint patties.
Yes.
Frozen. My
favorite. Oh my gosh. Back when I ate those type of things.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, so now because we have made that switch to better things and not less sugar necessarily, but better for you kinds of snacks.
Yes.
That those, and we talked about this in previous episode too, that traditional stuff starts to taste like plastic.
Oh, it totally does. It absolutely does. You can taste the syntheticness of
Mhm.
it. And now it's to the point, because I used to dabble. I was a Skittles fiend when I was younger. Skittles fiend. And so I used to dabble when I was kind of like 1 foot here, 1 foot on the other side. And then eventually over time, I was like, this tastes like I can taste the fake
Mhm.
fruitiness.
Yep.
And then you eat something like Giggles by Yum Earth, and you're like, wow, like
They're so good.
this tastes like actual food still. And it's not about the sugar content because you're still getting all the sugar. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm very transparent about that. Like, I'm not limiting the sugar on my kids when it comes to things like Halloween candy. Although naturally it does have less sugar, still all the sugar. It's the natural ingredients. It's
Right.
the organic ingredients, not all the synthetic stuff. And you can, yeah, to your point, you can totally taste the difference. And an even better story, which I think we said in the episode with Will, but his thing is peanut
M&Ms.
Yes.
Peanut M&Ms or peanut butter M&Ms?
Peanut M&Ms.
Okay, peanut M&Ms.
Yes.
Okay.
And he was like, I'm not giving them up. When I was like first going on my rampage slam, I'm not giving them up. And I was like, here, try these. And they're like the peanut ones by Unreal. And he was like, oh my gosh, I like these better.
Mhm. Imagine that.
Imagine that. Of course you do. So speaking of swaps,
Yes.
we're,
Tell us
we're
all
going to
your
do
favorite
rapid
swaps.
fire.
Okay.
Just rapid fire. I have my list.
And I will tell you if I've had them or not. So
or if you haven't heard the company,
yeah,
because
we can
there's
do
some
that.
good ones out there. So instead of M&Ms, my favorite is Unreal's milk chocolates or Yum Earth's cocoa yums. One that I didn't know of that I actually came across last year was a company called No Way, and they have Choco no minis. I know.
I've not
Why?
not had those because I can't say it.
What?
That's probably why I've not eaten it.
No minis. Anyways, great ingredients.
Okay.
Look exactly like M&Ms. Those are all dyed with actual fruit and vegetables.
Very
not
cool.
synthetic food dyes. So they still look like it, which makes it fun for the kids. Instead of Reese's. Unreal. Yes.
Yep.
Unreal has dark chocolate peanut butter cups. Y'all, they taste better than Reese's because they're actually real.
They're real. Yeah.
But still satisfies that craving for a Reese's.
Reese's doesn't even taste right anymore.
It doesn't.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't.
Tastes wrong. Tastes wrong.
And
And
right, it tastes wrong.
And there's some portion control because you don't get as many in a bag of the Unreal because it's real as you do of the.
Not as jumbo either.
Yeah. All right. Continue.
Skittles. Yum Earth Giggles.
Giggles.
Or they're sour Giggles. They're so good. They're like they're like sour Skittles, but better. I mean, you will make the face. Y'all know
citric acid.
Exactly. Gummies. Any sort of gummies. Yum Earth does a Halloween organic gummy fruit. They're in really cute little shapes, like little bats and little pumpkins and everything. They're awesome, obviously.
You can get Yum Earth stuff at TJ Maxx. So be on the lookout, and Home Goods will have their Halloween bags of candy. So if you want to give them out at your house and put them in your candy bowl, you can totally do that.
Oh yeah, they're starting to become everywhere. We were in St. Thomas a couple weeks ago.
I saw. If you're not following the doc on Instagram, you should.
It was
so cute.
It was so beautiful, and they have like one local grocery store because we were kind of away from all the touristy stuff. And we walked in, and my kids beeline to the Yum Earth, and I was like, "What?"
It's a movement, you guys. It's a movement.
They're like, "Can we get them?" I was so excited to see it on like in a small convenience store on St. Thomas Island. And I was like, "Yeah, of course, get them. Why not? Why aren't we getting them?" Anyways, this is a random one.
Yes,
Almond Joy, which sorry,
they had like almond.
So does my mom. What is that?
I think it's their generation kind of a thing. But
okay.
Built Bars have a coconut one that's actually pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
So add additional protein.
So that's also one that people love to freeze.
Yes.
I've heard that, but I can't get on board with it. Sorry, y'all, I can't. But Unreal has a dark chocolate coconut bar as well. That is wonderful. Obviously, Snickers is a good one too. Unreal
is a really good swap.
Oh my gosh, they're amazing.
So if you're wanting that nougat and caramel and peanut,
that's how you
and
say
chocolate
that word.
Nougat.
Yeah,
it's not nugget.
Okay, so I read it as nugget every time.
Nougat.
So what they call them is chocolate caramel nougat peanut bars, and I'm like, y'all, just Snickers.
Yeah, they are really, really good. As a Snickers lover, and that one's a good frozen one too.
Because I deleted that word. So I was like, I don't know how to say that. So I'm just going to remove it.
It's nougat.
Prejudice nugget. Okay. Starbursts. Starbursts are a big one. Also, not just for Halloween, but at all times. Yum Earth organic chewies. They are so good.
Lovely is a good brand. Have you had Lovely?
Good brand too.
Yeah. There's taste I like that. I haven't had the Yum Earth chews, but I've had maybe I have. I like the Lovely though.
Yeah. They're good. They're really good. The reason why I like Yum Earth lollipops for Halloween specifically is because they do a variety pack. So they have like a cute little Halloween packaging with bats on it and whatever, and they're darker chocolate or they're darker colors with the lollipop.
Purple and red.
Exactly.
And, yeah.
So they fit the Halloween vibe, but there's so many other lollipop brands out there as well. The again, biggest thing, still all the sugar. Just natural.
We're not skipping the sugar.
We're not, but just natural organic ingredients without all the preservatives and food dyes and synthetic chemicals. Still let your kids enjoy, but set parameters, set boundaries.
You have the options that you are not the old gum house or the raisin house, the box of raisins.
She almost pinned me as a raisin house.
I didn't.
You did.
Almost.
You did.
But I didn't. So what do you give? What do you hand out? What's on your doorstep?
See, here's the blessing about living in the country.
No one comes. No one comes. Yeah.
How far I get to my doorstep? Ain't nobody coming trick-or-treating at our house. That is, because I thought about that. When we lived in Florida, the last year that we were there was really when I was like diving into this side of things. And I did put out Yum Earth and Unreal and all those candies. The variety packs. So I would just get a couple of variety packs and dump them in a bowl and that's it. But here, nada.
You do live out in the middle of kind of nowhere.
Yeah.
So
it's a blessing.
But you could bring them to church. If you were going to do a trunk or treat, what would you?
So we do trunk or treat at the kids' school, and it's only stuff that I'll put my money to.
Okay. Good to know.
I mean, like, if I am, so that again, the conflicted thing when we receive all this candy, I'm not going to throw it in the garbage because I feel better giving it to someone who enjoys those things.
Right.
And no judgment there. It's just a Brooks family, preference. Well, everything that I'm saying here. But if I am personally buying things for other people, I'm going to buy what I would want.
Right. And like if I buy candy, it's got to be gluten-free. Like I'm not going to, because you know what I'm going to do? I can't buy it until like a couple of days before Halloween because otherwise I'm going to be in there snacking and I can't. Or the other option is that I get things that I can't eat.
You know what I found lately that I've been like dying with is, the Thin Mint. No, not the Thin Mint, but they're like the Girl Scout cookies, the chocolate mint ones.
Yeah.
I found a grain-free version at Sprouts. I've eaten at least a box in the last 3 days. I'm pregnant, so I'm allowed to do that. Okay. I know. They're so.
What am I making you homemade cookies for?
Oh, because yours are amazing, but it's the minty chocolateness. I'm just eating cookies every day, I guess. Okay. Apparently, that's what's happening. Apparently. Anyways, moving on. Here's a good one. Anna Kate had an awesome idea to talk about face painting.
Because you're going to dress up when you go. Your kids are going to want to dress up when you go trick or treating because they want to look cute during spooky season.
Exactly.
Here for the booze.
Not this year, dang it.
No, the BOOS. Booze.
Y'all can see the personality difference here. She's like all cute and here for the booze. And I'm like, oh yeah, like the alcohol. Dang, I can't drink this year. Okay, literally.
Please.
And we're done. We should just stop there.
Okay, let's talk about face paint.
Face painting, yes. Okay, our skin is our biggest organ, right? So we absorb, that's why we can make medications that absorb through the skin, like hormones, bioidentical hormones, a cream, it absorbs through your skin into your bloodstream. So it is absolutely redonkulous to think that there are medications out there that can absorb through your bloodstream, but things like lotion or face paint can't because they can. They absolutely can. So,
and I bet that $2 paint cake thing is not filled with really good things for your skin.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
I don't know what's in it, but it can't be good for $1 or $2 or whatever it is.
Yes. And fun fact, the FDA actually classifies face paint within the Cosmetic Act. So it's supposed to be regulated as cosmetics are. Do you think it is?
No, because most cosmetics aren't either.
Exactly. So those regulations, they require that food additive, or sorry, color additives to be FDA approved for specific uses, and under certain substances like lead compounds or whatever cannot be, in that product past a certain point. The issue is that companies aren't required to disclose of that information prior to releasing the product. They only, yes,
Sneaky.
they only need to disclose it if it becomes a problem to the consumer, meaning we're freaking guinea pigs. That's what that means. So someone has a problem over the years with using a certain cosmetic, and then it's investigated as to why that person has a problem based on a chemical or lead component or whatever it is. It is not researched and studied prior to and then released.
That's
backwards.
Backwards.
Right? Absolutely.
Yeah. DUM, dump.
Yes.
Also, if you're putting on a face powder, make sure it doesn't have talc in it. Just
Yes.
FYI.
100%.
If you didn't know that before, you know that now. We're telling you, discover that don't put talc.
Exactly. So there are, when I go through all the research and stuff about things like this specific, like non-toxic face paint, of course, everything that comes up is, hey, make your own. And y'all, by now I ain't that chick. I'm not mixing and matching and making my own face paint. If you are amazing,
let us know.
Please do, because that is, I love that about you. It is not me, but I love that about you. So for all of you non-toxic but convenient needing humans out there, we have a list of some good non-toxic face paints for you. That includes Natural Face Paint Kit by Natural Earth Paint. It's literally all that they do. Craft Pros Kid Face Paint Kit. There's another one called Maydear Face Painting Kit, Maydear. And then there's an Arty Party.
I like Arty Party.
You know how many times I read that as artsy fartsy instead of like totally.
Maybe you're artsy fartsy on your Arty Party face paint.
Exactly. You're good with words today.
I don't know what happened.
Anyways, the Arty Party face paint kit is another good one. And then Joyin, Joyin. They have these body crayons. They come in 24 colors, all non-toxic, great ingredients, safe and effective. That's a solid list right there. When it comes to removing the face paint, there's some great alternatives. Soap and water.
Yeah,
Okay, so some don't come off as effectively with soap and water, right? And then there's a laundry list of non-toxic soap you can use, obviously. If normal, just soap and warm water does not work, then grab an oil, whether it's coconut oil, jojoba oil, olive oil. Those are probably my top 3. And actually apply it to the face first. I mean, just lather it on there.
I like oil. I do a double cleanse all the time. So I like doing an oil cleanse.
Good.
It does.
Yeah. And then just take a wet washcloth and wipe
it off.
And magic.
And then you can wash again with the facial cleanser as well to get the rest of the residue off. Yeah.
The other option is baby wipes for the win. If you have non-toxic, either water wipes or baby wipes. We use diaper, DYPER, baby wipes, but water wipes that are 99.9%, just water when they only are fragranced with essential oil. Those are awesome. Use that also. You can use it after the oil, or you can try it before the oil to see if that will take it off itself. Then you can use good old-fashioned makeup remover too.
Yeah.
That I would say for like really stubborn guys. I don't love using rubbing alcohol. A lot of people will go there.
Why would you go there on your face?
People do. Raise
don't
your hand
do that.
if you've done that.
Don't do that. You've put
past me has done that. Okay. Yes. Sharpie on the face. There is not much that can get it off. Okay. But
put your hand down.
We are talking about like college days here.
Okay.
A little different. But there's a lot of good makeup remover companies that are non-toxic. Rooted Beauty, Be Green, Be Natural Organics, Organic to Green, and Rejuva Minerals are all awesome options when it comes to makeup remover. So you have a stash, go through the list. One of those will work.
And it shouldn't be so hard if you're using some of these natural products. It should come off with just soap and water. But if you are using other things, because you have it in your arsenal and you do big face paints. And one year I did a like full skull on my face. It was awesome.
Amazing.
It was awesome. I had a girlfriend do it.
But it was so good.
Yeah, it was. I can't do it myself, but it took a minute to get off. But it was fantastic. I'm not that much of an artist. So.
That was so cool. I love that.
But yes, if you do need it, if you're using the natural face paints and all the things. It should come off relatively easy. If not, use what you got. Again, we're not about the waste, but make sure when you take it off, you're not irritating your skin or your eyes, especially for your little ones.
Exactly. I'm hot.
I turned the air down.
Did you?
I did.
I'm hot.
Me too.
Okay.
And if I'm hot, I
I'm
know
not.
that it's a thing.
Oh,
So-
you're like, okay, am I the only one sweating?
So I'm going to let her talk about
Sugar overload.
what to do after you consume all of that sugar. And I will
Gonna
return.
pull down my baby. Okay, so as we were talking before, a great way to avoid that sugar dump is to just monitor how much your kiddos are getting at the end of the day in terms of their candy. So, everybody's going to have their own rules, but my kids, they get a couple pieces and then they go about their business. We don't really have to prep otherwise because we're not giving them enough to have that huge sugar rush and then big dump to follow. But if your rules are different, I absolutely respect that. And there are some things that we can do. You want to, if that is y'all, you want to prep for the day. So you want to focus on nutrient dense foods all day, high protein, high good fats. So our avocados, nut butters, fatty fishes, anything like that, MCT oil, olive oil, etc. And colorful fruits and veggies throughout the day. Just plan for that. Have a great breakfast, great lunch, great snacks, and then have a dinner. A lot of parents forget that we need to eat dinner because that will help stabilize the blood sugar post all the candy. So that's number one. Number two is hydration.
Before you get to hydration, this year, Halloween is on Taco Tuesday. So have tacos, have guacamole, avocado, like all the things.
We just named all the things.
Yeah, load them up and then out the door.
That's perfect. Look at that.
I fancy how that works out.
Margarita
Yeah,
for me,
you're
please.
welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Or two. Anyways, so then hydration is key too. We want to flush out all that goodness, all that sugary goodness. So water, if your kid is not a big water drinker, throw some electrolytes in there. It's not about quantity, it is about quality. So quality of the water that they're drinking with the electrolytes in there, or still, if they're not a big drinker, focus on water-rich foods, watermelon, cucumber, etc. But just have that in your brain all day, that the more water we drink, we'll flush it out, keep those nutrient-dense, colorful foods throughout the day, and they won't have as big of a crash. Also, afterwards, everybody wants to go sit on the couch. Go for a walk. Go for a family walk. To have it be a tradition, you eat your candy, you indulge, but then you go, and it doesn't have to be a 4-mile walk.
Walk around the block.
Walk around the block. It can be a good 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever minute walk works for your family, but get up, get moving, or at least let those kids get out, play, get some energy out, instead of resist the urge to sit on the couch.
So maybe after Halloween, the candy consumption can be as that afternoon snack when they get home from school.
Yes.
And then they go out and play, they do their homework, and then they eat dinner, and then that's it. There's no candy after dinner.
Exactly. And that's a huge point, is that I don't know how dessert became a thing, like where we eat all the sugar after dinner, but it's very,
I'm kind of glad it did.
it's very counterintuitive. It's amazing, but it's very counterintuitive to our bodies and how we operate. So it's a great point. Have that candy earlier in the day and then let them burn that off, kind of reset, then have your good dinner. If your kid is not used to eating a lot of sugar, like mine aren't, I usually throw in some digestive enzymes and a good probiotic to help break down, that intake a little bit further.
Yeah.
Since their little bodies aren't used to it. My last is setting boundaries that we talked about before. Set your own home's boundaries. Just because we collect that 10 pounds of candy, it does not mean we need to eat it and all sit or in the same sitting. So just figure out what works for your family. Stick to that boundary, stick to that guideline, whatever works for you. And you can donate the rest. You can gift the rest. There's fun, like really cool arts and crafts things that you can do out of some of it. The point is to enjoy, to allow the kiddos to enjoy, but there are always better options.
Yeah. Discover you can be the change.
Okay. Yes, you can.
Put things in your basket and hand out and just start there.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, that's all I got for you for Halloween. There'll be some posts on my Instagram to go along if you guys need a visual of some of the cool swaps out there for around Halloween time or ordering.
Let us know what other candy swaps that you've made that your family has, because there's local things that we don't have access to here in Atlanta. But there may be something up where you are, or something homemade that's just not, that's, what's the word? Native to your area. That's a fun thing. So do that.
Yeah, absolutely. We love to learn and we love to help other people learn. So if there's something that you guys know about, please tell us and then we can share it. It's not about what I know, it's about what we as a community know and can do for each other. So
absolutely. All right. Until next time, let's discover together. Hey, Discoverer, let's discover more. Find episode link in today's show notes. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at The Discovery Doc. Connect with us on Facebook at The Discovery Doc. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Find us wherever you listen to podcasts. Visit our website, thediscoverydoc.com. This podcast is produced by Soulpreneurs Association and powered by soulsoftware.co. Empowering your digital journey with innovative solutions. The content provided in this podcast provides general information and discussions on various topics related to health, wellness, and medical advancements. However, it is essential to understand that the content provided in this podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. The host, guests, and contributors are individuals sharing their personal experiences, opinions, and knowledge in their respective fields. While they strive to provide accurate, up-to-date information, medical knowledge is constantly evolving, and the information presented in this podcast may not always reflect the most current research and medical guidelines. It is crucial to consult with a qualified healthcare professional or medical expert for specific medical concerns. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay seeking medical treatment based on the information presented in this podcast. The Discovery Doc podcast encourages listeners to use their own judgment and discretion while implementing any suggestions, recommendations, or lifestyle changes discussed in this episode. Each individual's medical situation is unique and may work for one, may not be suitable or safe for another. The podcast hosts, guests, and contributors are not liable for any direct, indirect, consequential, or incidental damages or harm that may arise from listening or acting upon the information provided in this podcast. Listeners are responsible for their own health decisions and should exercise caution and seek professional guidance when necessary. By listening to this podcast, you acknowledge that you have read, understood, and agreed to this medical disclaimer. If you have any questions or concerns about this medical disclaimer, please consult a qualified healthcare professional.